your dress on, and I took it off, and I put this on. Lily and Pearl in the house! Lily and Pearl's in the house! There's thunder and lightning going on. There's a lot of thunder and lightning going on. It's okay. You're okay. You're a good girl. Oh, there goes Gary. Charlie and Rogers. Hi, Reagan. A lot of people on tonight. Happy Saturday night. Lily and Pearl. Come on. I gotta call Gary. Lil. Come here. Come here, girl. Nope. She's not into it. Oh, wait. I'm trying to get the FaceTime to work. Here we go. I don't have a hat. Gary, I don't have a hat.
Jenna Mammina,
I don't have a hat, dude.
Well, this is my only one tonight. I'm not doing the costume changes tonight. Very bare bones.
You're in Ohio. Oh, crazy storms. I have to get a hat. But in the meantime, I had a great day. Wait. So everything's all shifted right now because I moved. Lillian's tearing apart the kitchen. Hi.
Nice. Hi.
How are you?
Good. You know what? One thing I love about among the countless things I love about you is that even your name sounds musical. Jenna Mammina. I would have loved to hear Pavarotti sing your name. Yeah.
Well, they say there are people that say that my voice or my name is a prayer, a Hindu prayer.
I can hear that.
Jenna Mammina, Jenna Mammina, Jenna Mammina.
That's good too, yeah.
But in the meantime, hi guys.
Yeah.
Gary Lambert's here. One more Saturday night. One more Saturday night. I'm getting you on here.
Okay.
And you're almost here as Lillian's destroying something. There he is.
I like the kitchen. I like the kitchen.
Oh, the kitchen's good.
Yeah.
There's Gary Lambert.
Hey.
Hi, Bill. Hi, Tanya. Let's see who's here. Bill. So Bill's in Boston. Tanya's in Montana. We have Fresno. We have Chicago.
All right.
I had a great day.
Excellent.
Yeah. Tie-dye Patty. But Lillian's tearing something apart, and I'm kind of curious what it is. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Gary Lambert, everybody.
Sybil says put Gary closer. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I'll get you closer. Well, what happened is I moved everything.
Yeah.
I gotta get a hat, Gary. Hold on.
Okay.
I have to go downstairs to get a hat.
All right. Well, hi, everybody. In the meantime, while Jenna's getting a hat, lovely to be here, as always. It's become quite the little ritual. I'm really enjoying it. I'm really liking being in the kitchen. Maybe I could go to the fridge and get something. I don't know. I've got some iced tea, which is probably not a good thing to be drinking at 11:11 because I'll be up for a while, but I like iced tea very much. So there it is.
I'm still trying to find a hat.
Okay, whatever you choose is going to be beautiful.
Okay, I got one.
Good.
It's my Cubs hat.
Oh, there you go. And we were at Wrigley Field together, so it all
works out.
It all fits together, sure.
So what's happening, Gary Lambert?
I had a kind of spacey day to the extent that until about maybe an hour ago, I forgot that it was Saturday night.
One more Saturday night with Gary Lambert.
I caught myself in time, and now I'm where I belong on a Saturday night, right here.
it's what we do on Saturdays. If I don't see you on Saturday, it's not the right Saturday. It doesn't work.
Yeah, it's funny. I have had these now. I've had these after weeks and weeks and weeks of days and weekends and all that structural stuff being meaningless. I now have these defining moments. My Friday night thing that I do online.
So cool.
And 11:11 on Saturday night. So, and now I have some sense that it's a given moment in time rather than part of this vast unfolding continuum of whatever the hell it is.
Because the governor in Michigan just extended through June 12th.
Good for her. She's got to stand up because she's under attack by
She's
crazy people.
Badass. I stand with her.
I totally dig her. Yeah.
Totally stand with her.
Uh-huh.
But it changes things here.
Sure.
So, what do? We have more parties.
We have more parties. We have more Saturday nights.
Sibylla says hello. Oh.
Hi, Sib.
Wait. Did I see Will Bernard? Wait. Not Will.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people here tonight. How was my day? How was your day? What'd you do today, Gary?
Well, like I said, it was kind of a spacey day. I was doing a little bit of work-related stuff. And then,
which means what?
Just corresponding with people related to what I did last night. And, kind of it's this ongoing conversation I'm having with the audience, and I've got, my radio show, which is in kind of rerun mode right now.
So the series is still rerun.
Yeah, we did a new show last weekend, but it was not a live show. My partner David and I produced an entirely new 2 hours with music and talk, which was really fun. And we're going to do a few more of those until they let us start doing it live again, whenever that is.
I'm going to try to do something right here, right now. My friend Jeff Metzger.
Yes.
Hi,
Jeff.
Who's a big fan of you and a great friend of mine.
Uh-huh.
I've never done this before. But, and if he comes on, bring them on camera. Oh, wait. I'm trying to do something. Hold on.
I'm here.
You're there. Hey!
I'm here.
Oh,
Jeff,
Jeff.
Gary, Jeff Metzger, Gary Lambert.
Hi, Jeff.
Gary. Can you hear me?
More or less.
Wait, can you hear me? Am I there?
I can now. Yeah, that's good.
Okay, good. Gary, I went the opposite way. I decided to grow the beard while you cut yours.
Yeah, Gary, so why did you cut your beard off, really?
Well, it really got bushy. It really got shaggy. It was the longest beard I've had in hours, since real hippie days. And then I decided just before, it was actually a week ago Friday, so I decided when it gets to 75 degrees or more here, the beard's coming off because I don't want to be hot and sweaty and itchy. And it got to 85 that very day, so I shaved that day. It could make a comeback. You never know. But for now.
So Gary, just so you know, Jeff has been such a huge supporter of 11:11 with Jenna.
Mm-hmm.
And then with Gary Lambert, he's the one that started the tie-dye Saturdays.
Oh, okay.
And he's...
Why not?
You did. You started that.
I suggested it. Yeah.
I had a tie-dye on, and I had to take it off, but I do have my Jerry doll with me right here.
I've got my DNC shirt on for today.
Oh, beautiful. Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, we got. So we're going.
Yeah.
And he's in Laguna Beach.
Cool.
Newport.
Oh.
You're close.
Oh,
You're close.
Okay. I'll be quiet. You guys talk for a while. I'll sit here with my Jerry doll.
So I met Jenna. We went to San Pancho Music Festival. We're standing out on the beach one day having margaritas at sunset or else, and this attractive woman comes walking by. We're all talking, and I, of course, stopped her, and we started talking. She was coming from a wedding.
Right.
She tells us that she's a singer. She says a singer, and she's going to sing at the festival. We watch her, so that's how I met her a few months ago.
Wow, that's so cool. I mean, Jenna and I had a wonderfully random meeting too. So,
But Gary, I've been watching you, so the story I have to tell you is I grew up in Northern California. I grew up in Turlock, which is in the Central Valley.
right.
When I was 17 in
It's mentioned on Europe 72.
that's right. It is.
Yeah.
So when I was 17, the local newspaper, I was the editor of our school paper, and the local paper took over the publishing of our school paper. So I would take my bike and I'd go downtown and I would work with the local journalists there who were doing the paper, and I learned all the skills to do that then. But I started asking the sports editor and the entertainment editor, hey, you know what? Can I go get press passes for all these events? And so I got connected with Bill Graham Presents. You were probably around then, and you know all the folks. And so I had to beg, cheat, and steal from Zahn Artman to get press passes to each of the shows. And Zahn would make me, after each show, write the story, send him the story from the newspaper, cut out, so I could get the next ticket for the next show. So I'd go to the Coliseum, Winterland, all the things, and that's how I was able to go to rock and roll shows when I was in high school.
That's fantastic. I love that story.
So you know all those folks. Queenie, remember Queenie?
Queenie was my boss because I worked at Wolfgang's, the nightclub. She was one of the people who ran the nightclub division, and she hired me, and then I also got hired in the office at BGP. So I was juggling different jobs. But Zahn actually, he slightly predated me at the company. He was no longer the publicist for the company by the time I got there, but I knew him. And he was a huge part of the story. Great person.
So then a few years ago, Joel Selvin, I'm sure you know him so well.
Joel. Thank you.
Oh yeah.
So Joel goes on the ACLU thing, and he puts up a day with Joel Selvin. He'll go to lunch with Joel Selvin, and he'll give and he still does it, I think, a tour, a rock and roll tour of San Francisco, take you all around the things. So I bid on the tour. I win the bid. Nobody else bids. My brother, who's from Northern California, who was a musician in the day, playing with a lot of players you probably know. So we go to lunch, and so the first thing I say was, I tell him my history and Zahn, and I said, Zahn was a little bit of an arrogant guy back then. He says, oh, Zahn was one of my best friends. But you know all the folks. So Joel took us on a great tour around the city and pointed out all the things and talked about the night that Dianne Feinstein raided the Dead's house, when that black house. You know all those stories.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I heard a story that, so I was staying in one of the houses on Haight Street and Hayden Ashbury, and they actually lived in one house, but they would go into another house. The one next door. Do you know that, Gary?
The Dead, you mean?
Yes.
Well, there was like an attached, like I guess you'd call it, in-law
Yes.
downstairs. There was 710 Ashbury and there was 710A Ashbury. So they had access like through the basement, I guess.
They had access through the basement, and staying in the top house in the second house. And so they would go into the back of the first house and come into the second house.
I see.
Do you see my Jerry doll?
I do, of course.
Do you know? Check this out. I'll explain this story. So I have my Jerry doll, and the suit that it's wearing is Nino's suit from when he was about 3 years old.
Oh my God, that's so sweet.
Isn't that cool? Oh my God! Who's in there? Wait.
Say hi. Say hi to.
Hi.
Why is there no sound?
My
I
hummingbird
can
girl.
hear. My hummingbird girl, she says.
Yes.
Hi there.
There you go.
I did talk to you. I didn't know where you were.
Oh,
Okay.
camera.
So I was pulling up wine while you guys were you're calling me.
Oh well. I've had more than wine tonight, so that's good.
But I do want to tell your folks, if everybody listening, if you didn't see the Sam Cutler interview last night with Gary, it was absolutely unbelievably great.
Unbelievable.
I mean, we've been so lucky in the guests that we have drawn for this thing. I mean, we started out really not knowing what we were going to do, who was going to be on it, what the format was going to be. And one week after another, we've had just it's been just accelerating and escalating. I mean, getting 45 minutes with Bradford was just
That was so great.
an absolute dream, because he's someone who I love as a person and I love talking music with, and so and Sam is just.
Oh, that was great. I watched the whole thing. It was perfect, Gary.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's just a ridiculously fun thing to have. Dare I say it, a job. It really seemed like a job.
Well, because it's perfect timing. It's the right time.
There's so many things that go in there.
No, I watched
But
the
there's
show last night. It was great.
Great.
but there's characters in the world, and then there's Sam Cutler's. It was just unbelievable.
One of my favorite things imagining. Is there some delay? There's like a weird sound thing like someone's.
I think Jeff is your speaker on, Jeff?
I think you're getting the delay version that's coming out from Jenna's Facebook page.
No, it's behind Jeff's mic. Can you lower your volume, Jeff?
Shit.
So many devices to deal with.
Is that better?
Yeah.
I'm trying to fix it. Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
That's
Okay.
okay. I got it fixed.
But now we have a delay. I'll be quiet.
Oh, shit.
I'll be quiet.
Well, it'll come out when I. I'm gonna say.
Hey, Jeff, can
Hey,
you
Jeff, can you
back?
hear your buds back?
Yeah, earbuds would help.
Wait, what did I do? I'm not saying anything.
Put your earbuds.
Put your earbuds.
Put my earbuds back on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sybil had it.
Sybil had it.
Is that better?
Put them both in. And let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay, how's that? Is that better?
Let me see. I think so.
Can you,
Okay,
Jeff,
sorry.
Can you lower your volume at your house? Like your volume
Oh,
from the
shit.
computer?
Yes, I can do that.
So right now, you guys, we're talking to LA, we're talking California and New York.
And Michigan in the middle.
And Michigan in the middle. But we can still hear your California. But go ahead, guys. Let's see what happens.
Well, I was just going to say, I just like to imagine in my head what the conversation between Sam Cutler and Keith Richards was.
Oh my God.
Because he went from the frying pan of the Stones into the fire of the Grateful Dead. But, and then he didn't talk to the Stones for years because they didn't treat him very well after Altamont. But they have reunited a few times recently. And just at the place where Keith Richards is now and where Sam is, I could just imagine them having these weird kind of conversations, right? They're very similar in ways. Like they could be brothers. I'm not sure who the elder would be at this point.
No,
Anyway.
it was incredible. I loved every minute of it.
Sam just go on and on. We could have an hour and 45 minutes inside.
That's what he said. He said, I don't want to do 45 minutes. I want to do an hour and 45 minutes.
And he's in Australia?
Yeah, he's lived in Australia for I think something like 20 years now. And I was amazed at the quality of the connection. I mean, I was kind of apprehensive about doing it because I've done some some remote broadcasts that have been kind of catastrophic, but the folks at Rhino, who are the folks I work for on this, have been doing a fantastic job. You know, they get in touch with the guests the day before, and they say, "Look, plug this into Ethernet. Don't rely on Wi-Fi." And you know, they kind of instruct them how to optimize the experience. But we were having no delay with Sam, who was talking to us the next day in Australia. So,
Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. So, Jeff, have you had dinner yet?
Yeah, we're done.
You're done.
We're done. We do late here, but we're still on the east. We're in the West Coast. What is it? Almost 9 here. So no, we're done. We do late dinners in the West. We wait for the sun to set, and then we do it.
And what have you done today?
Today we took a nice long walk on the beach. Everybody was behaving themselves in Newport, and then had lunch, and then a nap because naps are good.
Naps are good. Gary, did you
And then
nap today?
I slept in a little later. Not a formal nap during the day, but I like naps a whole lot.
Naps are great. And
then I watched this guy. This guy in North Carolina, Josh Daniel. You ever heard of Josh Daniel? He started playing every day. He's in a 68th straight day of quarantine, 2 hours every day.
Wow.
He plays. He calls himself the human jukebox. I've never seen anybody that knows more songs than this guy. He plays a different set every day, infused with dead songs mostly, but he knows everything. So I watched that, sat out in the sun, and then here we are.
And here we are. And it's 11 something here where I am, where Gary is, and it's 8 something where you are. So it's not even dark for you.
Yeah, it's dark now. I think it's already dark, but it's close. My son and his husband came from New York. They got out in the middle of March. They quarantined for a couple weeks in California, and they've been with us since the beginning of April. So, you know, we all have my 33-year-old son. So he works for a casting agent on Broadway.
On Broadway.
And
not working right now.
Yeah. And his main project is the Dear Evan Hansen musical. So, you know, we all hang out, hoping for the best.
Yeah, I've got quite a few friends who play in Broadway pit bands. All in a state of suspended everything right now. You know, some of our friends from the David Bernstein circle, Ben Porowski is in the band for 80s Town.
Sure.
And Todd Sickafoose wrote the arrangements for that. And a few other friends are in that band. The daughter of a very good friend of mine was just about to go that story in the orchestra.
Who was that?
My friend Jez Grant from Atlanta, who I don't think you've ever met, but they're his friends, and he's got an amazingly talented family. Both his son and his daughter are incredible musicians. And she moved to Brooklyn a few years ago, and she landed a gig as a percussionist. When I was some percussion. So she was really looking forward to it. I guess they were maybe they had officially opened on it, I'm not sure, but it was very close to opening day when they got shut down. So we're just waiting to see. They will reopen. They're a show that the producers said we're staying in this, so we'll see what happens.
Who knows? I mean, they keep extending. In Michigan, they extended today till June 12th.
Yeah.
So yes.
Yeah, the New York theaters, the Broadway theaters already said nothing until September at the earliest.
Ugh, that's what Kevin's hearing too. So he's hoping to be back in the office by then because they can do stuff earlier because they'll do the auditions and casting. They're ahead of the production, so they're all hoping for the best. And Gary, I heard tonight from a friend of mine, Dan Lee. You know Dan, who's in the crew of Dead & Company. And he's actually, his gig is that when he's not Bruce Springsteen's guy doing the teleprompter. So he goes back and forth on them. And everybody's hoping for the best.
Yeah, it's just devastating, and all these people who are gig workers who are going from one job to the next. All they can do is wait, and hope that they can get some relief, and hopefully some of these funds that are up trying to get money to in the arts will come through.
Like you mentioned, Sweet Relief.
Yeah, fantastic organization. Very grassroots. It was started as a musicians to musician enterprise. You also have music fairs, which is from within the industry. It's the Recording Academy, the Grammy people.
I actually got the Music Relief benefit.
Excellent.
I applied and I got it.
Fantastic. Sweet Relief is a fantastic
Good.
organization. It started to address one person's dilemma. My wonderful friend Victoria Williams, fantastic singer-songwriter, was touring with Neil Young, and he started feeling ill and was diagnosed with at a not very advanced age. She had, of course, no medical insurance and no access to the funds. So, luckily, she had, although she's not terribly well known inside of a very tight group of fans, she is very beloved by musicians and other songwriters. So this incredible collection of musicians got together and did a benefit album. All of her songs, performing her songs. Lou Reed, Pearl Jam, Lucinda Williams, I forget who else, but it was like 14 tracks, all by pretty major people, and they raised money to cover her immediate medical expenses. And then Victoria, who is just one of the kindest and most giving people I know, turned around and started the Sweet Relief Musicians Fund so that she could pay it forward. And it's now been around for, I think it started around 1993. So we're talking about into its third decade now, and it's doing great work. And this is their COVID-19 fund has been really trying to step up.
Wow, thank you.
Sure.
Well, Jeff, thank you so much for jumping online. And
It was much fun. Gary, good meeting you. You guys carry on the conversation. Keep it up.
one of these nights, the three of us will hang out and we'll have dinner together.
That would be great. In New York, when we're all back, we can all visit there for sure.
For sure.
Yeah,
Nice hat, Jen. Nice hat, Jen. I like the cubby thing there.
Yeah, it was
There you go.
I was,
Okay, guys. Have a good night, all.
good night.
Great to meet you.
Yeah, you guys need to know you totally.
For sure, for me too.
We'll do it at Red Farm, maybe in New York.
Yes, yes. I like it. That's where we stay in New York is like that's like 10 blocks south of there, and my son lives like 10 blocks north of there. So, yeah, I know the place. It's great.
Fantastic.
One of my
Yeah.
best meals of my life.
Yep, it is indeed. Ciao. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay, how do we get off of here? I hit this?
I'll hit this.
Oh, you did it. Okay.
Cancel. Let's see. Here we are.
Okay.
Woo! One more Saturday night with Gary Lambert in my kitchen.
Wow, we're like so seriously multi-tracking now.
I don't even know what's going on. I just kind of, good night, Janelle. Janelle's going to bed. Good night, Janelle.
Good night, Janelle.
Lillian,
It's been all too brief.
I know, Lillian just jumped onto the chair with me because there's a storm happening here. So it's been kind of like that all night long.
Yeah.
So what'd you do today, Gare?
Like I said, kind of chilled. Took care of a little online business. And I was spaced enough that I almost forgot it was Saturday night, but I snapped to attention at just the right moment and said,
I talk about you every day. Gary Lambert, one more Saturday night.
well, it's an honor to be here, as always.
So what's your next project? Tomorrow, Sunday.
Tomorrow my radio show airs in rerun mode, which means that David Gans and I actually get online on the Tales from the Golden Road Facebook page, and we hang out during those 2 hours. So we're interacting with our listeners, not through phone calls, which we usually do on Sundays, but we just answer their questions and, just tell stories back and forth and all that stuff. So that's basically my day tomorrow. I've got some chores around the house, having some little house moments here where there's some leaks and things I have to attend to, but I won't go into that right now. But it's just the joys of an old house.
So when I was on your show at XM, Sirius XM,
Yeah.
there were people that would call up and they'd say things like, Gary, 1972, XM, this show. Do you have that in your head?
I have a lot of stuff in my head, but I'm not that statistically oriented as some of my fellow maniacs are. I remember details of shows that I was at, and I remember certain historical data. I'm not quite as obsessive about the tiny details and what dates certain things happen.
They know what Jerry never wore a suit on stage. I'll just put that. But they know things like it's amazing. They know what he was wearing, what he was drinking. I mean, it's
right. Well, it was a black T-shirt most of the time, so with the occasional, throwing in red to get people confused. But
I saw the red T-shirt.
Yeah, people attach significance to that, which I think was not really significant at all.
Do you think it was for him?
No, I don't think so at all.
He just put on whatever.
Just a whim of the moment. He had mostly black T-shirts, and just would change it up every now and then. There were times, there was earlier on, it wasn't the standard black T-shirt thing, but this is the stuff that that people sometimes obsess over.
They
and I
do,
don't at all.
And they know it. Lillian, come here. Pearl, there's a storm happening here right now.
Yeah.
Pearl. So yeah, they know Jerry. He was Bobby was wearing those purple shorts, and Jerry had the black shirt on, and then they played this jackstraw that was crazy, and they know it in such detail.
Yeah. Well, there are people who have their incredibly huge collections of tapes, and so they will listen to certain shows in such detail that they have them pretty much committed to memory. I'm kind of a take it as it comes kind of guy. I don't really have a plan that I've got to listen to all of 1973 today or anything like that. I'm much more random in my accessing that stuff, and I almost never do it when I'm not working because so much of my work is tied up in it.
But when you guys are online with the Sirius XM and someone calls you, can you recall that?
We can recall things. We also we can look it up. I mean, now it's insanely easy, because you've got the Google and you've got YouTube and you've got, you can access the information within seconds. So if someone asks you a question that you're not sure about, you might have the answer by the end of that day's show or within a few minutes or whatever. So,
but
that it's not quite as tricky as some people might think that I'm just pulling everything out of thin air.
But do you prepare beforehand?
Only if we know what certain subjects are going to come up. If we have a guest, that we're going to talk to about a certain thing, I do the homework. Or if we're talking about a certain era in the band's music with that guest, or I will refresh my memory. But since the show is very spontaneous, a lot of it is caller driven, and you never know what the caller is going to ask about specifically until they're on the phone.
So how do they choose what's going to be on tomorrow? In the next few weeks that are going to be pre-recorded shows.
Oh, we just we make a note of who was on, and then we go back. We can also scroll back on the Facebook page and see who did we? We had a really good interview with somebody in mid 2018. And I'll go look for that person, the reference to that person. We'll say, okay, it was July 15th, 2018. And then we can get in touch with, there's a person who's working from home right now in Washington, D.C., actually, because that's where the XM part of Sirius XM resides, and he's our guy as far as accessing that stuff. And we say, could you check the library and make sure we have that show from July of 2018? And then they just put it on the server, and it turns up at 4 o'clock Eastern tomorrow.
So you get some choice in what happens. What is?
Oh yeah, no, we have pretty thorough creative control over the show. You know, that because they know they hired us because we know this stuff, and the people at Sirius XM not so much. So you know.
And what about your show on Friday night? How do the concepts come up with that?
Well, that was very, you know, when people got confined to quarters, you know, a bunch of bands started doing this. Dead and Company, I think, were a little ahead of us. They're doing Saturday nights, in fact. And then Fish picked up Thursdays, I think, and Joe Russo's Almost Dead as a series. And you know, the Dead just staked out Friday nights. And it's trickier with the Dead than it is for more contemporary bands, because we're talking about tapes that have been locked in the vault in Los Angeles for 25 years since the Grateful Dead ended. And it's on videotape, most of it hasn't been digitized because, you know, that's the whole process. You know, converting something from analog to digital is costly and time consuming and all that. So we weren't necessarily prepared to do this, you know, because the vault is not just the Grateful Dead's vault. You know, the Grateful Dead used to have their own tape vault in Marin County, but when they basically
when you talk about that, the vault.
Okay, the vault, you know, was it started as like kind of a large walk-in closet in the Dead's old studio on Front Street in San Rafael, and then when they moved up to Novato, to a big old, what had been a Coca-Cola bottling plant, they had a lot more room, so they custom built a climate-controlled, like heavily fireproofed vault that would really protect, you know, it was like all of their recorded music that they had in their possession and all of their video materials, film, videotape, everything. So that they maintained that for, you know, the next decade or so. And then when the Dead decided to wind down their in-house business and they chose Rhino and Warner Brothers to administer all their music releases and all that, it all got moved to Los Angeles, and it's in the Warner Music Vault, which is huge. You know, it's got the combined holdings of Warner, Atlantic, you know, Elektra, all these incredible labels, and it's a very high security facility, especially now because, you know, last year I think it was, a fire destroyed the Universal Music archives, which is devastating, just priceless recordings.
It devastated, like, yeah. So that made everyone, you know, I mean, Warner's has always run a really tight ship with that stuff, so I'm really glad it's where it is. But it's also because it's on lockdown. It's not easily accessible. You know, they're only letting people in there for very short periods of time, and you know, they can only take a few things out at a time. So, you know, when we started out this series, we said, well, we'll show some things we already have in hand, which would mean that stuff that was already digitized, stuff that had already been released in some digital form. So, you know, the first one we showed was a show that the Dead had played in Buffalo in 1989, and that had already come out on DVD. So the source material was easily accessed. And then we showed the Grateful Dead movie, the one filmed at Winterland in 1974 and released in 77. And what we've been trying to do is like gradually take out tapes that they can then digitize and then get into shape to show. It's a very wow.
Of course, we have Deadheads complaining about this because
why?
Because they're saying, well, first of all, they're being given something for free, for which the appropriate answer is usually thank you. But they're saying, hey, why are you showing all this stuff that's already commercially available?
But is it commercially available?
Well, the stuff, yeah, the Grateful Dead movie and the DVDs they already released are. But the fact is, this is not, you know, the obsessive Grateful Dead collectors, rare stuff hour.
Right.
It's a little gift they're giving every Friday to bring the community together.
Which is so beautiful.
Yeah, and we're trying to get stuff ready we've already shown one that's never been released before. The one we showed last night from Bremen, Germany, has never been commercially released, but it was shown at one of these Grateful Dead meetup at the movies.
That was so cool.
Yeah, it's one of the coolest things ever because it's not them in concert. It's them in a TV studio in Germany, and they do false starts and they do a whole retake of one song, because they could. They were taping for a German television show called Beat Club, and so it's without a live audience. There was like basically the German crew, the Grateful Dead crew, and like a few family members were in there. So it's a really, really intimate kind of, it's like them in a room playing together without, projecting to a big crowd. It's one of my favorite artifacts. But because it showed in the movie theater 6 years ago to a fairly limited number, and people are saying, "Oh, we've already seen this one." And I said, "Well, you're going to see it again, and
And you're going to see it in your home instead of somewhere else
for free."
For free.
And we're raising money for incredible causes. So it's the complainers just kind of make me laugh because it's like par for the course. It actually reminds me. There's a story that I like to tell. It's one of the great Jewish mother stories. Jewish mother and her little boy are on the beach, and suddenly a big wave comes in, and the undertow sucks the child out to sea. And the woman looks to heaven. And she says, "Oh, God, please save my child. Please save my child." And there's a clap of thunder, and a huge hand comes down from the sky and plucks the boy from the water and places him safely on the beach. And the woman looks at her son, and then she looks up to heaven and says, "Hey, he had a hat." So that's the feeling I get when people complain about this stuff.
I hear you.
Yeah. So anyway, that aside, this has been, most of the feedback we get is tremendous and delightful and gratifying. And then we have, these incredible guests on one week after the other. It's just been fantastic.
We're all doing our part. Do you know who's the guest for next week?
Actually, that is yet to be determined.
I love that. You never know. It's like it happens when it's supposed to happen.
Yeah, and we try to match, the music that we're going to play. We try to match it to someone who was, involved in the band at that point. I think next week's is a previously unseen one. I think it's an early 1990s show, 1990 to be exact.
1990, like a concert?
Yeah, it's like a stadium show. They play, That's where a lot of the video comes from. Is like that era because they had the multi-camera shoots so they could show video on the big video screens at the venues. This was not stuff they were filming primarily for commercial consideration for release, but because they were playing these big places with the jumbo video speakers so the people in the back rows could see the music better. Nice. So that's where that, they had a very excellent camera crew capturing that stuff for that purpose. But they had the foresight to record it, otherwise it just would have escaped into the air. So the one we're showing next Sunday has never been seen in public, in a movie theater or on a commercial release. And so it being from 1990, chances are we'll try to get someone from that era, like maybe Steve Parrish, from the Road Crew, or someone like that who was like familiar with the territory around that time. When we did the closing of Winterland, we had Doc Ock show. When we did last night obviously was Year of 72, so Sam Cutler was the perfect guy for the job. So that's the way we're going to work it. Have someone who can contribute to the discussion. When we had Bradford on, it broke my heart that we didn't have one of the shows that Bradford played with the band because they have not been. There are also legalisms, like things have to be cleared for release. Right. Sometimes if the Dead played a show at a certain venue, those venues have what you call origination fees. So if you want to show it in public after the fact, they'll charge you exorbitant amounts, and contracts have to be signed, and there's all kinds of stuff like the unions that worked those buildings, are supposed to get a cut of the action. So it's not always as simple as just giving away these nice little gifts every week. It's like lawyers and people like that have to be in on it too. So that's the bureaucracy that luckily I don't have to deal with at all. I just get to have the fun. and I really admire the people who do all that work.
So through this week, you guys will talk about who will be there for next Friday.
Yeah, like I said, we have a few invitations out. We're just trying to make sure that people are available. And some weeks, it might just be David Lemieux and me, because
Which is great.
We can shoot the shit with the best of them and talk about this stuff.
Totally.
Or bring in like another friend of ours from the Deadhead community, rather. I mean, obviously, now that we've had band members or band management or people like Bradford, like week after week after week, they're a big draw, and they help raise money for the charities more effectively. The bigger our audience, the more money we're going to get for those good causes. So, but we'll, if we have to pare it down, we'll pare it down. Well,
it's working.
It's working great, and it's also, we've been really, really so honored to get to do it and get to, give these little gifts to the community, and also we get so much wonderful feedback. I was on Twitter a lot today, and people were just like raving about the Sam Cutler show.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
I turned it on, and it was on through the whole, and I was like, oh my God, I didn't know the things he was talking about. I didn't know. And you feel like when you grow up in that community, in that family, it's great to get all these little stories in, and you go, oh, it brings it all together.
Yeah, Sam's got a million great stories, about so many things. If you get it, he wrote a wonderful memoir called "You Can't Always Get What You Want,"
Of course.
And it details both his life with the Rolling Stones and the Grateful Dead. So that's there's a lot of stories to be told there.
I'll check that. So, is it a book that we can order on Amazon? Is it something?
Amazon has it. I do know they have it. And I think it's still in print in general. I can't remember the name of the publisher, but you can look it up on Amazon. Yeah.
So between now and Friday, what are you going to do?
I've got a little writing assignment I have to finish for Rhino. Just some like virtual liner notes that are going to go on the website for some Dead and Company stuff they're putting out for streaming. And it's just, I'm always surprised with how much work I have right now. And David Gans and I are going to try to produce a new original show for Tales from the Golden Road, a recorded one, not live, but we're working on a theme right now, so we'll come up with something and maybe do it in the next week or two.
Do you think you're busier now?
Well, I would be busier with a wider variety of things than under normal circumstances, but the fact that I'm busy with all of this under these circumstances is just kind of miraculous. I mean, it's saving me.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Great. Can you hear the thunder here? It's pretty.
I can. We've had some pretty torrential rain here today too. So.
Lillian's not a fan of thunder.
No, most dogs are not.
She's like, it shifted in the last 3 or 4 years. She's trying to get into a door downstairs right now, and I think if she works at it a little bit longer, she might burrow her way through, which is kind of frightening. But So you have different work here, different work now than you did.
Yeah, well, like it's a narrow, it's all within that world right now. Whereas I might be working on other little things here and there. I really, Pete Shapiro.
Pete.
Great person, from the Capitol and the Locken Festival and the Brooklyn Bowls. He and I are...
And the Wetlands.
And formerly of the Wetlands, of course. But we've been cultivating more and more of a relationship and talked about doing some projects together, which, of course, will be on hold for a while, as are all things that he's involved in. But there's actually a very interesting article in Rolling Stone, or the online version of Rolling Stone. I think he did an interview yesterday or the day before. Very much worth looking up, where he's talking about how to step back into presenting live events, using streaming models, and then maybe being able to work out smaller gatherings in clubs, one step at a time. They actually did a thing just last week.
Yeah.
Where they were about to open the Brooklyn Bowl in Nashville,
right,
in March, I think it was, and just when everything clamped down. So the place was never formally opened. But this past week, Jason Isbell and Amanda Shires gave the Brooklyn Bowl kind of an unofficial opening ceremony by going there and playing on stage without an audience. You know, two wonderful musicians married to one another. You know,
Right.
so they kind of blessed the club with their presence. And the great thing about all of these venues is they have built-in, very state-of-the-art video and webcasting systems. So it really looked like, you know, it didn't look like someone playing in their living room. It looked like a great show from a great club. And, you know, so these venues that have those facilities, maybe they'll be able to start doing more music. Bobby Weir's talking about re-upping his TRI studios.
Oh, please, I love TRI. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, so
beautiful.
he's hoping to do that again, you know. So we're going to inch our way back into the world. You know, it's basically all we can do until further notice.
I did a gig last night. My cousin Tim has a club about a quarter of a mile from where I'm living. And my friend Tom and I did a concert there last night. And we posted on Facebook and Instagram and, you know, did all that. I'm still trying to figure out the multi-stream part.
Right.
But we played on Facebook Live and we were on Instagram and I think YouTube. And it was fun. It was great.
Sure.
You know, it was my first gig since February 28th.
Wow. Well, I hope you get other opportunities because the world wants to hear you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Jeff Metzger says one more story for Gary.
Tell us. Read it out loud.
He says, the week Jerry died, we were vacationing at the Concord Hotel in the Catskills. What most West Coast Jewish kids never experience. Fortuitously, our waiter for the week was Sam Freiberg, who was Bill Graham's close friend when they worked together. Bill Graham worked in the Catskills as a waiter, famously.
I believe it.
When he was a young man. Bill always said that's what instilled in him that passion for being a good host. You know, when he ran his concerts, he said everything he learned about hosting people at concerts, he learned from being a busboy and a waiter at the.
Oh, I told you, I've been at least 2 Dead shows where Bill came out and he came out with platters of food and started handing food to up at the top where the king and queen, what do they call them? You're wiped out now after doing that, Bill? I'm talking to Lily. Oh, come here, come on. Thunder and lightning, not happening, not her friend.
No, don't take it.
But he would bring food from backstage.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he was a consummate host and cared about the experience the patrons had from the minute they walked in the door. And yeah, that I learned that from him. He instilled that in me. It's always with me.
Have you been into the city?
No, not once. Not my last time in the city was something like March 10th. You know, right around. I went to this benefit. My last public social event, I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, was this wonderful benefit, our wonderful musical community coming together for Aaron Johnston, the drummer, who just got a successful kidney transplant.
He did.
Praise Jah, doing very well apparently. And so Bernstein and Peter Applebaum and Joe Russo and Sasha Dobson and a whole lot of
I need to get all of them on my show. Steven's been on, but yeah.
Yeah, Steven was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure Peter would love to do it too. And yeah, it was a great night for the community because we could all be together, and we were all like apprehensive, like, you know, is this thing really going to hit us as hard as we think it is? And so that's been the most recent time out. It was a good night to have my last night out for a while because I got to make a lot of connections. But also it was a night where people were in very close proximity to each other, and it was worrisome in that regard too. But yeah, so I have not had occasion to go into the city. I don't feel like taking the subway for sure, and you know, I could drive, but there's really no reason to, you know. So well,
I'm glad you're sipping.
Yeah, it's funny. there's a new connection I have on Twitter. I just like sort of bonded, with little comments with this wonderful woman named Alexi Wasser, who's an actress and a writer and a blogger and a podcaster and all this stuff, and a really smart, funny, vivacious, incredible person. And the other day she posted, she's in LA now. I guess she lived here for a while, and she posted, "I miss New York in 1999."
Oh my goodness.
And I said, "Hey, I'm in New York, and I miss it in any era.
Any
Because I'm here, but not here. It's so funny to be in New York and be missing New York as I am."
Yeah,
Red Farm. I need to go to Red Farm.
Red Farm. Well, my next time at Red Farm is with you.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely. I can't wait.
And hopefully a gig will. I was supposed to be playing in New Jersey tonight.
Wow. With Ralph?
With Ralph. We had Friday night, we were going to be doing a house concert. Today, my cousin Gray was getting married in Jersey City. No, in Edgewater. And then Jersey City tonight with Rolf. And then tomorrow we were going to play at the living room.
Oh man.
And then after that, I would have assumed you and I would have gone to dinner.
We would have gone to Red Farm for sure. Well, our table awaits at some point. We will have more good times together in New York, Jenna. I know this.
And I have to tell you, your story last Saturday night has been shared more than any story I've had.
Oh.
And I thank you for taking the time to tell it.
Hey, what I have found out is that my mom.
Your mom is a fucking rock star, dude.
My mom engenders a lot of hits and a lot of I think I mentioned at some point during that show that I would post like happy birthday wishes to her, and she had no knowledge of Facebook or internet stuff, and I'd get like 389 likes and like people saying happy birthday to Gary's mom who had never met her.
Right.
So even when she was around, she knew that there were all these people who.
Oh, my phone died. Damn it. Hold on, guys. Don't go anywhere. Wait. We'll call him back. I gotta plug in. I knew it was gonna go long. Hello. What do you got, RP? Thank you, RP. So my phone just died because I'm going to come back over here. We switched everything around and I didn't plug everything in. Hi. I know, the call dropped. I'm plugging in my phone and we'll bring you back on in a minute. There's my chia. I just got a new thing of chia tonight. Come here, Lo. There's a storm happening. Come on. She's not hip on the storm. And we're a little bit bright. No, we're not done. I'm going to call you back. I'm just charging. Because there's a bad storm happening here. We're not done. No way. But I have to charge my phone. Bill! I'll call you back in a minute. We're charging right now. Give me like 3 minutes. Hold on, everybody. One more Saturday night. Let's see, let's put something on. Everything's gone out. Hold on. This is what Facebook Live is all about. I made Bo watch Gary's show last week. Oh, Gary's story is so amazing. Look, you're seeing my whole kitchen now. Usually, so my it keeps falling. Gary, maybe oh, Julie, there you are. If I could bring you on camera, I would, but I can't figure out how to do that. Gary Lambert is watching. Hold on, everybody. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know how to do that. Damn it. So I have the opportunity. Let's see. Nope. It's pouring rain here right now. Oh, wait. It's happening. It's happening, Gary. I'm going to move you closer. So what happened is I moved everything for my gig last night. And then everything changed. And then I had Sybil Savage in the house. We're calling Gary back in a minute. Oh, Jeff's back. Yeah. Hold on. I could do this all night, just so you know. Just so you know. Gary Lambert. Coming back on.
Here we are again.
Hold on. I'm putting you back in my tripod.
Oh, good.
And wait, hold on a second. He's there, but I have to plug it back in.
Okay.
Keep rolling, keep rolling, keep rolling.
I'm rolling. I'm here. I'm in no hurry.
Yeah, what else do you have to do tonight?
Not much.
So your week again is what?
My week was my last night, my Friday night thing, 11:11 with Jenna, a high point, and then tomorrow I sort of kibitz on my own radio show, as it reruns and we hang out, and then I've got these little tidbits of writing and things I got to do, and then I hang out and watch old movies and stuff.
You watch what is it?
Turner Classic Movies is very big. TCM.
TCM.
Yeah.
I don't have a TV, so I missed that part.
It's really, it's an incredible treasure trove because it's everything from, classic Japanese cinema, Kurosawa, to weird old 1930s gangster movies to musicals, and it's the kind of range that I really like, and you can find some real obscurities or some old favorites.
And so Dead and Company have they canceled until when?
Oh, they have no plans at this point. Summer tour is off, and nothing else is going to be announced until they have a clearer picture of what's going on. You can't really book a whole fall tour without knowing that it's going to happen. And summer tour is a finite window of time, so I think we may not see them till next year. It's eminently possible. That may be true of a lot of people.
Yeah. Can I do something really quick? Go ahead.
Well, I'm just going to say that I check all the listings for what's been canceled and what's still on. Like there's a series of shows in New York in August. The Forest Hills Tennis Stadium, not far from my house, has a really good series booked. And they've canceled everything, I think, through July, but there's still August stuff on the calendar.
Well, you know what hasn't been canceled yet is the Detroit Jazz Festival.
Yeah. When is that scheduled for?
It's the last weekend in August. it hasn't been canceled yet.
Yeah, people who were scheduled into August have not canceled yet because if anything wonderful happens, or they can come up with some alternatives or scale it down or something, it wouldn't make sense to cancel and refund all the tickets and then say, oh, we can do it after all. So, it's very complicated because the artists and their managements, everybody's got to have a say whether they want to do something or not. And there are also these legalisms in contract. There's this thing called force majeure in a contract, which says you can
Say
get
that
out
again.
of the
Forced what?
Force majeure. It means like
Force
major force,
majeure.
and it means it's like an act of God. It means that you can get out of a contractual obligation if there is a disaster, a tornado, something totally unanticipated. This certainly qualifies as that. But like those clauses in contracts may have like a certain window of time when they kick in. So you have to say, well, if we got gigs scheduled in September, we have to stay contractually obligated until such time that it can be legally canceled without repercussions. Right. So that's the deal. It's complicated. I'm glad I'm not on that end of the business.
Yeah, it's, friends of mine post, there's a raging storm happening right now here, like thunder, lightning, and my dog is going crazy. People say to me, they're like, oh, or they'll post, oh, I'm so sad that the festivals aren't happening. And I'm like, that's how, people like me make my living. We make our living this way.
Right.
And what do we do?
Yeah, but then again, we have the added perspective of knowing, there are people in our lives, a generation before ours, who made it through World War II and the Depression and the Holocaust. Yeah. And so, in that scheme of things, concerts being canceled,
right?
It's not the highest priority, but it's the people's livelihoods.
It's I sit there. The reason I'm on the planet right now is for my mom.
Sure.
I don't need to gig. I'm like, people go, oh, I'm not going to get this festival. And I think, well, I'm not going to have my music, but I'm going to hang out with my mom.
Yeah, that's it. That was, my experience in caring for my folks was like, that became my purpose, and I did my other work, and that was secondary. That felt great. It was great not to be ego involved in my career.
Not at all. It's such it's actually given me that there's the craziest storm happening here. I know, Lillian, it's okay. Yeah, I've let that part go. People go, oh, don't you miss singing? And last night I got to sing in my cousin's bar.
Right.
At 11 o'clock at night. The bar was clean and quiet. And then I came home and I had that same exact feeling that I would have coming off of performing at Yoshi's.
Sure. Yeah, because performing music also does wonders for the endorphins.
Oh, yeah, it saves my life.
Yeah, it's great to have that. And I also, one of the gifts my parents gave me inadvertently was that their story made me, I think, a lot more immune to self-pity. I can't feel too sorry for myself.
Not at all. Yeah.
No matter what happens to me, it's like, boy, they had it so much worse in every way.
Yeah.
And sacrifice. And that's like the people who consider not going to the nail salon a big sacrifice.
Yeah. Or getting their hair done. Oh, I have to get my hair cut. I'm like, get a Flowbee, figure the shit out, wear a hat, right. Whatever.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
Yep. Anyway.
I'm happy to know you.
I'm so happy to know you, and this is great that we are so consistently in touch through this. It is a beautiful, beautiful bit of solace and inspiration and all that. And, before when we talked earlier tonight, I was talking about really heavy stuff, and we said, nah, not tonight.
Let's have fun.
let's just.
I
be
needed
light
to have fun. I was with my family all night. It's my nephew's 29th birthday, and
Right. You told
I
me.
had some cocktail that I didn't know I was going to have, and then I called him like, Gary, I don't know what, I'm just here.
Yeah.
I'm being
this is
real.
it. Any time we are in each other's company, it's like life is better for those moments.
Oh, Bill, thank you. Bill, do you want to come on? Do you want to come online with us right now? If you do, Bill Winokur. Did you happen to see the show the other night with Bill and his brother Bo?
I didn't, unfortunately, no.
Gary, you have to go back and check
Okay.
it out.
Okay.
These guys, Bo and Bill Winokur, have stories that when I do my gig in Boston, you have to come with me up
Sure.
to hang out.
Sure.
My dog is having a total meltdown right now.
I can totally understand.
It's storming and it's beautiful and I love it.
Yeah.
She doesn't like it so much.
No, absolutely not. I totally understand.
I was able, a friend of mine today said, so how, because he saw the show with your mom, and he said, yeah, Bill and Bo were great. Julie, right? He said, how did you know Gary? And I told him the story, and I told him the whole thing about your idea with Blues for All, and he goes, what a beautiful time to be alive. And I said, right? What a beautiful time to be alive. Well, let me see if I can do this. I want to introduce you to. Bill says yes.
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
Oh, we're gonna try another one of these extra screen connections.
I don't. Some people it allows me to do it, and it's okay, Lily. But
if it doesn't work this time, we'll do it another time.
Yeah. So speaking of, what are you doing next Saturday night, Gary?
Well, Jenna, I don't think we have any other choice.
One more Saturday night.
That's what I'm saying.
With Gary Lambert, and maybe we get David on here one night, and the two of you can talk.
That would be cool. We'll come up with something. Well, it's funny, when we talked before, we were just going to talk about comedy and movies and stuff, and then that took another turn because it went another way, and that's fine too. I like the spontaneity. I like the different tangents we go off on. It was great to have Jeff come in. That was unexpected and nice. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, our brains just we work well that way.
Oh yeah, that's one of the gifts we learn when we cultivate a life in improvisation.
I love your hat.
Yeah, it's a nice. I don't even remember where I got it. Might have been on the Lower East Side somewhere.
I keep sitting here thinking, when am I going to see Gary Lambert again?
One more Saturday night. That's when.
Next Saturday.
Yeah, and then when we see each other in person, it's going to be so beautiful, and especially if Red Farm is involved.
We need to get there earlier this time.
Yeah, it was almost closing time the last time. Yeah.
Closing time.
But that was very spur of the moment. Like, remember, we called up and we said if we get in there, I think they closed at 10. We said if we get in there by 9:30, are we cool? And we got in there right.
Were we at Lincoln Center before that? Where were we?
Yeah, we went to Disney's and we saw. Who did we see at Disney's?
Oh wow!
Rufus Freed.
Rufus
Freed Big Band.
Yes, the big band.
Yeah. And then we said, "You want to go get something to eat?" And we kicked it around. We said, "Oh man, I've been wanting to try this place, Red Farm," and we did.
So will you do me a favor and post the link for tomorrow's show, or even for last night's show and tomorrow's show?
Oh, you mean the Shakedown stream links?
Yes.
Okay, let me search them up.
If you want.
Yeah, okay. It'll just take me a moment to get on the right screen here.
Oh, Lillian, you and Jerry are right here together. Everybody's all good.
Yeah, if Jerry's there, Lillian, you have nothing to fear.
So this suit that Jerry's wearing.
Yeah, you told me it was Nino's little baby suit.
Yeah, it was his baptism suit.
Wow, how cool. That is awesome.
Can you see us?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen Jerry Garcia in a suit?
Well, not a suit, but a sport jacket a couple of times.
Really?
Well, when he got the Bay Area Musician of the Year award at the BAMI Awards one year, he actually wore sort of a tweed sport jacket, and he looked really odd in it, I gotta say.
I got that award. It's a really groovy award. They give you a lava lamp.
Which award?
The Bay Area Music. Bay Area Music.
Are you still there? Am I hearing you?
I'm here.
Oh no! Wait a minute. I know what happened. Okay, we're cool.
Bay Area Music, or yeah, they gave you a lava lamp.
Yeah, the BAMIs we're talking about.
The BAMIs, and then there was another one. SF Weekly. Oh, SF Weekly. I got an award for them.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was a different thing. Yeah. The BAMIs were funny.
Oh, I love the BAMIs.
Well, the BAMIs were kind of, I had very mixed feelings about the BAMIs because the BAMIs started out as like a parody of an award show.
Really?
Yeah, they used to hold it at the old Waldorf, a small club. And they kind of made fun of award shows. And then BAM Magazine started taking it a lot more seriously, and they started having votes. And then, like, bands kind of started campaigning for awards.
Right.
And, record companies and managements got involved. And then it became kind of bloated. They moved it to the SF Civic, so there's like, 7,000 people there. And it actually became kind of fixed, too.
Really?
Yeah, because the publishers of BAM, like, they figured, like, oh, if the Grateful Dead win everything, then Huey Lewis won't show up.
Right.
So they would
so
tell
you
people.
need Huey there, and
Yeah, I know this for a fact because people who worked at BAM Magazine who counted the votes told me like the fix was totally in, So they would tell an artist, oh, if you show up, you'll get an award. So it was a little corrupt, a little sketchy. I had a good time at the BAMI show nonetheless.
the woman that ran the BAMIs used to. I bartended at Charlie Brown's in Emeryville, and she used to come, and I can't remember her name, but yeah, can't remember her name. But I that makes sense. My mom just said, Nino, not the baptism. He was about 1.5 years old.
Okay, what do they call that? That's not like confirmation, or I don't know. I'm not sure of all the rituals.
So he was 1.5 years old in this suit.
That's pretty cool. Okay, so I posted the link for the.
Thank you. I see that.
That's the pre-show. Do you also want the Beat Club?
Whatever, post it and people check it out. Like I said, people have been sharing the story of your mom, and when they see me on the street, people stop me. It's like 3 or 4 people have stopped. That story about Gary's mom. I'm like, I know.
It's an intense story. It's like it's hard to beat,
It's I don't know. Yeah, I sit here now and I have people on my show, and I'm like, well, Gary will be back Saturday night. But that's amazing, Mama Grace, that you're still up. Go to bed.
Hi, Mama Grace.
Mama Grace is going to be 89 on Wednesday.
Awesome. Happy birthday, almost.
Hi, David. Yeah. Nettie.
Yeah. Okay, and I posted the link to the actual Beat Club in Bremen, and now I'm going to post the link, just our general link to Tales from the Golden Road, so if people want to check that out
tomorrow, that's on Sirius XM.
Okay, so you got to be a Sirius XM subscriber to hear that. Channel 23. And like I said, it's going to be a rerun, but during the time slot, 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern time, and you figure it out in your time zone, people. David and I hang out on the page, and we just
hang out. It's so fun.
Just a breeze.
My mom says, hi, Gary. Hi, all.
Hi, Mama Grace. And yeah, so that's my very full weekend now. It's like, it's action packed.
Cool. Well, thank you again for taking the time tonight.
Of course. It's a joy. We'll talk during the week and see if we want to pursue a new theme next week, or if we just want to wing it, or whatever. I definitely have stuff. Sometimes there's specific topics I'd like to get into.
Let's do that next week.
And other times we can freeform. I did like the idea that we talked about on the phone earlier. Let's just talk about comedy. Let's just talk about stuff that makes us laugh.
All right.
That comedy is like kind of my spirit animal on a whole other level. I think comedy was my rock and roll before I had rock and roll.
I'm with you on that. I could.
Okay.
Like before I discovered concert. Well, that's interesting. I went to my first concert was a Yes concert. Oh no, my first concert was Glenn Campbell. Then it was Yes, but after that it was comedy. It was people like Steve Martin and David Brenner, and I'm 9 years old laughing at David Brenner. I don't even know where that came from, but that was my rock and roll.
Yeah, and I was when my first years in San Francisco were kind of a golden age of club comedy, because it was when guys were playing club. Steve Martin was playing a little club in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Andy Kaufman was playing a little club in San Francisco. Robin Williams was still a club comic, and you would just go see these guys be so incredibly brilliant. And then you could also see an old school guy like Henny Youngman. In fact,
have you ever seen Henny Youngman?
I saw the old boarding house in San Francisco, probably 1978 or so.
Wow.
Henny Youngman played there. And this was like, the king of the one-liners, they call him. He was the oldest of old school comics. And he opened his show at the boarding house with the best San Francisco joke I've ever heard. He said, "It's great to be in San Francisco. I checked in my hotel, opened up the drawer. What do you think I found? Tony Bennett's heart."
Oh! Boom.
Rim shot.
Big time.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gary.
Thank you, Jenna Mammina. I love you. We will talk during the week. We will commune here next Saturday night.
One more Saturday night.
Lily and Pearl, everything is going to be okay.
Oh, she's a mess right now.
And you got Jenna to cuddle with, and everybody loves you, Lillian.
She'll be all good. She's got Jenna and Jerry.
There you go. Can't beat that. All right, my dear.
Thank you.
Have a beautiful night. Love you.
Good night. I love you too. Good night. That's how we scroll. That's how we roll. 11:11 with Jenna. Good night, David. Good night, Mama Grace. Good night, Jeanette. We'll be back tomorrow. Dave Clark 5. Oh, yes. I worked with Robin Williams. Nothing like it. Total gift. So tomorrow morning, it's pouring here right now, you guys. It's just, I'm kind of worried about my seeds. I planted a bunch of stuff. Can you hear that? Anyway, it's really loud. It's pouring rain. This is when you kind of are concerned about being a house owner and homeowner in Michigan when it's pouring rain. But anyway, tomorrow night, Jeremy Steinkohler. Good night, Charlie and Regan. Come tomorrow night. Jenna and the Charmers. Do we have something to play? Hold on. I might not. I don't. Tomorrow day. Come back tomorrow, you girls. You girls come back tomorrow. And tomorrow night, Jeremy Steinkohler, Jenna, and the Charmers. 11:11 with Jenna. 11:11 with Jenna. 11:11 with Jenna and Lily and Pearl. I'm so grateful. Oh, good. Would you, Charlie and Reagan, would you like to be my guests tomorrow morning? That would be fun. I think that would be a blast. I think tomorrow morning, Charlie and Reagan will be our guests. Another percent. I just got perspective. Yes, Charlie and Reagan tomorrow morning, my guests. To Charlie, to Reagan, to Julie, to Mama Grace. Love hard. Good night.